What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we got a Samson the Masher champion spotlight. Now this guy is one of my favorite aesthetic looking champions in the game. He looks a lot like Harambe. We got our first like King Kong type skinwalker. He's an ape and he's looking very, very sharp here. I guess this is like arena gear for him. He's a champion from, I guess, the city of Velazar. It says a wildly successful gladiator. Now the backstory is he was found by some pirates and then sold to a merchant who basically granted him his freedom if he wanted to go along with a scheme. It had something to do with him forgiving him and then becoming an arena champion where they could earn all kinds of money together. I won't spoil the ending for you though. You guys are going to have to read the lore for yourself. Go check out some of the reviews real fast. 4.3 in the arena, faction wars, arena defense, campaign, Minotaur, kind of falls off in some of the other areas, and then a nice 4.4 over here in Phantom Shoguns. Let's go over the kit real fast, and we'll check them out on the website so we can see the multipliers. Now, I usually like try to find a unique aspect to the kit, like what makes this guy special. And going over the kit, there's a lot that makes Samson very special here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, first and foremost, we got the passive ability, Affronted. Decreases the damage the champion receives from critical hits by 20%. Pretty nice. Counterattacks the attacker when hit with a critical hit. Now, to be able to mitigate 20% damage in the arena is just absolutely spectacular. Then also to counterattack is even more special. But it doesn't stop there. He has an A1 that you have to consider and take into account as well. What is he counterattacking with? And it says, has a 50% chance of counterattacking the attacker when hit with a strong, normal, or weak hit. So we have a guaranteed chance on a critical hit and a 50% chance otherwise. Very nice. You already get into counterattacks with the passives. Okay, let's go to the A1, Vanity Fist. So not only is he giving you a counterattack, but he's attacking twice. Each hit is a 35% chance, 45% chance when booked up, of placing a stun debuff for one turn. That's pretty awesome. So not only is he counterattacking you, but he actually has a chance to stun you, CC you as well. Now, another unique aspect to his kit is the fact that he has an increased accuracy buff and an increased crit damage buff on his A3 that grants an extra turn. This is very nice. The accuracy buff goes on all allies, but the crit damage buff only goes on Samson himself. You get the chance to buff the accuracy. You don't need his accuracy to be completely good. It doesn't need to be too high, but it does need to be good enough to land the stun at some point. And the A3 will give you the accuracy boost to help with that. Now the A2 is what you want to get into after using the A3. You're going to roll the A3 into the A2, and Explosive Temper here attacks all enemies, removes all increased defense buffs from enemies before attacking, and places an extra hit if this attack kills an enemy. So we're going to need a little bit of accuracy here to help out with this, and we're going to be targeting low HP defense, like attack-based nukers in the arena. Make sure we can get that extra hit. Now let's go take a look at him on the website real fast. Before that, let's take a look at his aura. He has an increased ally defense in all battles by 30% aura. He is HP-based nuker. That is kind of unique. Head over to the factions, go to Skinwalkers, and we're going to find Samson. We got him rated as an 8 overall, 8 book value, and we're going to be getting the priority in the A1, the A2, and the A3. We do like the cooldown reduction here. We like the cooldown reduction here and the damage, and we also like the extra, chance to land the stun. Now, the multipliers, we have a 0.12 times 2, so it's a 0.24. Then here we have a 0.29. This is one of the best in the game for HP nukers by far, especially when you consider the extra attack. So it could be up to almost a 0.6. Like I said before, there's very few champions in the game with the increased accuracy buff and increased crit damage, especially as a combo. Very few champions used to have the accuracy one, although they're adding more and more as time goes on. You guys click the button right there. It'll take you to every single champ that has it so you can see. Let's head over to the compare multipliers page. We'll check out his multipliers real fast. We'll go with mythics, legendaries, epics. Go 100. Go with AoEs. multiplier number, and we'll go with descending order. So like I said before, it's one of the better ones in the game. 0.35 is the highest at the moment. You got Snick Track and Eric's with that on their A2s. Krokmar the Devourer, 0.3 on the A2, and then Deliana 0.3 on the A3. So he's right up there, and especially when you consider that conditional second attack. But the trick is getting that conditional second attack to actually trigger. Artifact-wise, you know, I had some stat thresholds I wanted to meet. I had like 80,000 to 100,000 HPs in mind, 2,000 or more defense, 180 to 200 speed, if not more. Crit damage as much as possible, and then accuracy at least 200, because a little bit less than that felt kind of iffy. Even when I want to use them against like attack-based nukers, we shouldn't have very high resistance. You know, we do have to have some accuracy to land that stun. Also to do the increased defense buff removal. So we didn't want to like go no accuracy at all. Now that means that we could do a bunch of different sets. We could have went with Perception, for example. I went with Crit Damage or Kill Stroke. I went with the Lethal, if not Savage, just for the ignore 25% of enemy defense. Now, I kind of felt like that was a very crucial part of his kit. Like if we're not getting the kill on the A2, we're not getting the second hit from the A2. And when it comes to tankier champions, like Arbiter, for example, we're going to need that second hit. All right, so Gloves went with Crit Damage. Crit rating you could go with if you can't meet the crit rating thresholds without it. HP percentage chest plate. HP percentage boots. We could have went with speed if we were lacking in speed. Originally I had him in speed a little faster for some Centranos content, but I removed that for the HP based nuking we're going to be doing in the arena. So substats, you know, crit damage, speed, accuracy. We had to get some accuracy. Like here we got extra defense. I would love to get some crit damage here or HPs, but at the same time we needed a little bit more accuracy. With the ring here, we went with HP. I did go with a reaction set. Now if he gets crit, he's going to automatically counterattack. If reaction procs and he doesn't get crit, he has a 50% chance to counterattack, so it's not a big deal. I'd rather have him stay alive and counterattack sometimes than to die and never counterattack at all. So we got the HP based stats here. Reaction piece. I don't have a lot of reaction pieces outside of the rings, so unfortunately it is what it is. We got crit damage and crit damage ascension here. And then we could have went with accuracy if we needed more, but I kind of felt like the HP nuking was more important. Like the nuking portion of his kit is more important to me than a potential stun on occasion. So I did want the accuracy to be there, but I didn't feel like I needed to go all out for accuracy, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather prefer to go all out for damage. I want that second hit on the A2. It's very important to me. Let's go over the blessings. I do like the cruelty blessing here. There's a lot of different blessings you can go with. Let's say at the low level, got Soul Reap, got Crushing Rend possibly. I would consider Polymorph even. You could do a lot of different ones. For the high end, let's say you're 5, 6 star. Soul Reap is a very good one. Also, Crushing Rend would be very good as well. You know, anything to get that extra damage. We want them to die. A2. We want someone to die, at least one person, right? So we can get that second hit. All right, masteries. I felt like he had some of the most unique, interesting masteries in the entire game. And I really went through like a lot of thought process in trying to decide what was the best masteries for him and what were like avoidable masteries for him. Now, I used about 30 fights in the arena before I had decided if I wanted to go with Heart of Glory, Shield Breaker, or Grim Resolve. And let me tell you the logic I went to and through with these three here. All right. So very seldomly, I would say, I was actually getting a full HP nuke off after getting hit first. So remember, in the arena, we're going to be getting hit more than likely first before attacking. Now, I can definitely mitigate this by using champions like Pytheon, for example, right? Pytheon can use his A2 to heal and cleanse the debuffs and bring him back up to full HP. That would happen in fights sometimes. Then here, Grim Resolve, he was literally never underneath 50% HPs when he was using his first nuke. It was never happening, except for under certain conditions. Like, number one, he was already dead, so he can't really nuke when he's dead. Sometimes he'd be completely CC'd and, like, smashed to bits. So maybe like 20% HP, but stunned. You know, he's not getting around to his next turn. So it wasn't looking good for this one. And then the majority of the time, they either had a shield buff on or they just didn't have a shield buff at all. And that was it. Like he would nuke, they either had a shield buff or they didn't. But he didn't have full HPs majority of the time, let's say 80, 90% of the time. And then almost never did he have under 50%. Never. 5% of the time maybe. And even then, he was like dead in those fights anyway. So it wasn't a good look for him at all. Now, I wanted to get to Ruthless Ambush because the first hit is important. We want to kill somebody with the first hit so we get a second hit, right? And then also, I felt like this one, single out, was kind of important as well. Because we're going to get the additional 8% on the first hit. Hopefully, we can knock them below 40% on the second hit and then finish them off there. Now, that felt more important than getting a little bit of extra speed and Life Drinker, which, again, almost never under 50%. So, another one here I wanted to avoid was Bring It Down. Because if we're going to go against attack-based nukers and go first teams like Arbiter, we're almost going to be the highest HP guy on the team every single time. So what is the point of getting this and having it never come into play? So I tried to avoid that one. I went with this one instead, Wrath of the Slain. Increases damage inflicted by 5% for each dead ally. Now my logic was we're going to be nuked, so if we can allow somebody to actually die before we get our turn and nuke back, there's an additional 5% right there, right? Now, with that logic in mind, remember, there's also Spirit Haste over here, does the same thing, but there's a speed. I was thinking there's one champ that fits perfectly with this, and his name is Sun Wukong, right? Right? You guys see what I'm going with there? All right, good. Okay, Opportunist. Now, I was thinking to myself, when is Opportunist going to come into play? All right, we're going to get nuked. He's going to counterattack. He could potentially stun somebody with the A1. There's your 12%. When he comes back around to his first turn, if he can stun somebody on the counterattack, he will get that 12% bonus against them on the second go-round. It's going to be unfortunate for anyone who tries to interact with you before your turn. Say they use Aerol, for example, because we got a Spirit-based Samson. They're using Aerol or Kandrafon. They nuke us. We counterattack back, stun them. Now we have an additional 12% damage there. It's going to be, maybe sometimes you can even knock them down to below the 40 here and get basically 20% additional, damage. Pretty nice. I wanted to make sure I got that. And then I wanted to make sure, and also too, like you could couple him with someone else in the arena. Say, Timar, for example, get to sleep. Or there's all kinds of defensive-based nukers that stun, like Ragash, for example. Definitely pair him with someone else like that, and then have this come into play as well. Or, say, Mithrala. I mean, there's so many different people you could use. Crazy. How about even Terrace, right? He's got the fear, true fear, whatever it is. All right. The A1, Methodical. He's going to be counterattacking with the A1. Might as well, buff it up. And then we got Helm Smasher. Now, here's the interesting part, too. We have the defense tree or we have the support tree. If you look at his kit, it's almost got like these masteries built into it, right? Like this one, for example, Improved Parry. Decreases damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion is hit with a critical hit. He already has 20% built in. Add 8% on top of that. That is almost 30% damage mitigation on a critical hit, which is absolutely wild. So, logically speaking, if you wanted to go down the defense tree, I wouldn't be mad at you, not at all, because you're really just doubling down on everything that makes them great. That's why I did not do it, though. Keep in mind, that's why I did not do it, though. All right? Down here, 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% more of their max HP from a single enemy hit. Again, very seldomly was he losing that much HPs. He's already counterattacking when hit with crits. He's already counterattacking on other hits. So I didn't feel like he needed this. This is like doubling down on things he don't need. Again, same thing with deterrence here. Didn't need it. Don't want it. All right? We're already going to get counterattacks anyways. So if I wanted to go down this tree even, I would think of considering Cycle of Revenge instead. Get that turn meter boost so you actually get around to your turn. Because go second tanky teams are all about getting your turn. It's really important you actually get your turn. If you don't get your turn, they just keep cycling around over and over again. You'll get skipped and you'll just die. All right. So I chose not to go down this tree on purpose because I felt like the accuracy here was really required to get that stun to go off on the A1. Now, it's not going off very much like all the time. It does have a chance not to land. But I felt like this was better than going down and doubling down here. So I went with pinpoint accuracy. We've got charged focus. We've got swarm smiter. And then here we went for extra crit damage, right? And then we have, again, Sun Wukong in the mind with Spirit Haste. Now, I felt like this is another interesting choice and conundrum because what you have here is you have charged focus is only going to be working on the counterattack, right? Because you're going to get hit, you're going to counterattack. You'll have this additional 20% or 20 accuracy to land the stun. But then once you use your A3, this is on cooldown. You won't have this on the A2. All right? You won't have this again once you've used your turn. But once you've used your turn, you're not counterattacking no more. This is gone. So I was thinking to myself, why not get additional HPs for damage, right? Go here to Exalt in Death, get some HPs once you kill somebody. Get Swarm Smiter for the additional accuracy here. And then you could also go down to Cycle of Magic and even get lasting gifts if you wanted to for an extra duration on the accuracy and crit damage buffs. So you got a lot of options here. There's so many different options. But I felt like this was the best right here in my mind. Like you could definitely go down defense tree, but again, I felt like these, like this counterattack right here, having 16, 26, 46 accuracy on this counterattack on the opening hit is very nice. Like I wanted that. That's going to be very nice. Then you go into the A3 here, get the increased accuracy buff. He's going to be golden after that. It's absolutely golden. Let's go ahead and get into that arena action. Now, I want to reemphasize at the beginning with a different build, we weren't getting the kind of results we were looking for. It was looking kind of bad. Once we got his stats right, we got his artifact set switched, he was absolutely mashing everyone though. All right, taking the first attack from Staltis. Surprisingly enough, no counterattack. Let's heal up. Go ahead and sheep the Duchess. That way we can take her out of the fight for a second. This A3, I'm going to do the A2. Wow, just absolute carnage. He actually smashed her through the sheep on the first attack and nearly killed her on the second hit. That's quite powerful. 238,000. Let's go. Apparently you can't dodge this. Absolutely bonkers. Guy's smashing, like I said. Now, we got an air all here. And you can see they did the block damage buff right from the start. That's why we brought a guy like Sun Wukong so we can reverse those fortunes. Now, wow, Errol's already dead. He's kind of a weak Errol. Sun Wukong hits really hard too. Now we got the stun on Arbiter there. He's damn near 50% health already. Absolute smash. 147,000 on that one. Okay, now I wasn't expecting him to be very good against the Marishkas and the Terraces and the Helicasts of the world. We got some different types of champions here. Now I was thinking of using them more against like the Canderfons, the Aerols, some of those affinity-based attack nukers, but he ended up being surprisingly well against the Marishkas and the Terraces of the world too. The Harimas, you know, some of these more tankier champions. You can see maybe it's a weaker bunch here, but absolutely smashing right through them. Got Harima as well for a little bit of backup. She's coming in through with the provokes. Looking very good. Lots of damage. 222,000. Samson is definitely mashing. Okay, we got the Mountain King this time and a Warlord. So, you know, we might have to power through him with the A1, but it seems as like we got the first turn. It's supposed to be a very, very slow Arbiter. Got a slow Warlord here. We do got a Wukong. Wukong came over, smacked my Wukong. Now, that gives Samson a damage boost, like I pointed out before. Go ahead and go after the Mountain King. Maybe Warlord. Never mind, let's go with Sun Wukong. All right, so they're a little bit tankier. It's going to take a second to kind of, bash through their HPs here. Got to worry about Sun Wukong a little bit. Mountain King kind of slaps too, though. Still a hitter for sure. But wow, Samson is kind of mashed right through him. That was surprising. But again, this is kind of a weaker team for sure. You could tell just by the way the fight started out. So can't glean too much from this fight right here. But we're coming through the A2, should bash them both. There we go, finish them off. Nice damage. So Sun Wukong is contributing some as well. They make a very good combo in my opinion. I like Sun Wukong right there with Samson the Masher. And then give him someone else like Pytheon to give him a little bit of extra, tankiness there to survive those hits. Going to get rid of Terrace here to start the fight. That way we're not getting A3 to death. Go ahead and A2. Let's see what happens. Ooh, not much damage at all. Okay, no big deal. We got a much tankier team here. All right, probably should have went after Ukko on that hit. Oh well. But we reduced Harima's defense. Kind of shred her a little bit. This should help us out a little bit. Terrace back. Not able to finish off Harima. There we go. Okay. Come back around with the provoke, hopefully. Only got Terrace. Not terrible, not terrible. Go ahead and bring back Harima. Strip the buffs off. All right, Harima's back down again. All right, Samson, we need you to mash, buddy. Got a stun on Terrace. Very good. All right, let's hit Mariska. Almost got her dead. Almost. This fight is most definitely a little bit harder than the last couple. All right, bringing back everybody since Mariska's dead. Let's knock out Ukko. That way we can't revive Mariska no more. Ooh, we lost our boy finally. So it took a Terrace to knock him out. All right. Still looking good here. Got Harima left. Can we finish her off? Probably should have A1 stunned her if possible. Bring back the boys. All right, Sun Wukong finishing her off. All right, that time, Samson still did most of the mashing. 150,000. Terrace hitting hard over here, 167. Wow. And then we got Sun Wukong contributing as well. I love him. All right, so we got Ragash here. We got Gimbo. He's got a stone skin. It's going to be hard to counterattack through that. That's okay. Oh, he used A3. That was kind of weird. Why would they use the A3? They should use the A2. All right, we're going to use A3 right here. Hit the A2. Probably can kill Gimbo, get the second attack off. Hopefully we take out the Arbiter. Ooh, so close. So close. Harima coming in with the assist. Finishing them all off. That was pretty close. Pretty close. All right, let's do one more fight. Wrap this video up and then call it a day. Samson has been a pretty wild success, I would say, so far as an HP nuker goes. Counter nuker to these attack-based go-first teams. I really like them a lot. Probably going to be using them in my 3 versus 3 teams. Do like them with some tanky champions, like you got Pytheon, Harima, and he's a very good complement with Sun Wukong. Go ahead and A2. Almost took out somebody. Not quite. Not quite. All right, he's under 50% HP. That's kind of a first for the video. Rima with the A3. Okay, we got Duchess back. If we can wipe her out before she revives, we'll be looking good. But if not, oh well, we'll just have to fight back through it. Never mind. Here we go. Reviving. Almost knocked her out. Still almost knocked her out. Let's finish her off. All right, it's A2 Harima. Defense shred. Ooh, so close, so close. Almost got the A3 off. Ooh, wow. She almost knocked us out there. So if we didn't defense shred her, she probably would have killed us. She probably would have triggered the A3 and wiped out the whole team. But there with the save. Harima on Harima violence. Okay, let's go at A2. Heal back up Samson. Thankfully, we got the block debuff on. So close wiping out to Harima here. Wow. Just unlucky. All right, this should wipe them all out. That should be a wrap right there. All right, looking good. Nice fight. 238,000 from Samson, 100,000 from Harima and Sun Wukong each. And their heat was kind of slapping a little bit too. So, you know what? Let's go check out the stats and then call this a video. All right, let's check out the stats one last time before we wrap this video up. Samson the Masher is the real deal. This guy's Donkey Kong Smash is absolutely mashing everybody. So I love this guy. I mean, so far, he's one of my favorite champs to actually make a video about to date. Hands down. So we got 97,000 HP, 2,500 defense, 193 speed, 100% crit rate, 280% crit damage, 237 accuracy, and 190 resistance. And this was the build. We got him in the lethal. We got him in the kill stroke. Here's the masteries one last time. I was very impressed. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in some future ones. You guys take it easy. Hope your new year is off to a good start. Peace.